The wind that howled across the cold stones of Winterfell carried more than snow. It carried whispers, the kind that never reached the ears of those who needed to hear them most. Lyanna Stark had always been fierce, untamable, a storm wrapped in human form, but beneath that wild spirit lay a secret so profound it could shatter kingdoms. In this imagining, Jon Snow was not merely a hidden child of circumstance, but the deepest, most fiercely guarded truth Lyanna ever carried, a truth she chose to bury not only from the realm, but from the very blood that might have claimed him. From the moment she realized what she carried, Lyanna understood the danger. It was not just about honor or scandal, but about power, dangerous, volatile power tied to bloodlines that the world was not ready to accept. She knew her brother Ned would protect her, but even his unwavering sense of duty could not shield a truth that threatened the fragile balance of Westeros. So she made a decision that would haunt history. Jon would not only be hidden, he would be erased from her story. As the war unfolded and kingdoms burned, Lyanna's silence became her shield. Every scream, every clash of steel, every fallen soldier added weight to the burden she carried. She could not reveal the truth, not even in her final moments, because to do so would place Jon in immediate danger. The child was not just a son. He was a symbol, a living contradiction to the narrative that had ignited a war. His existence alone could unravel alliances and reignite bloodshed. In this version of events, Ned Stark's role becomes even heavier. When he finds Lyanna, her request is not simply to protect Jon, but to ensure that no one ever learns the full truth, not even Jon himself. The lie must be complete, airtight, and eternal. Ned does not just bring a child home. He brings home a secret that will define his life, shaping every choice he makes from that moment forward. Jon grows up sensing that something about him does not fit, that there is a missing piece no one will speak of. The silence surrounding his birth is thicker, heavier than in any other telling. It is not just shame or discomfort, it is deliberate omission. Every glance, every half-finished sentence from those who know hints at a truth too dangerous to speak aloud. This absence becomes part of Jon's identity, shaping his sense of self in ways even he cannot fully understand. Meanwhile, the political landscape of Westeros shifts unknowingly around this hidden truth. Lords and kings maneuver for power, unaware that the most significant claim to the future lies quietly in the north, disguised as a bastard with no name. Lyanna's secret becomes a ghost in the background of every major event, influencing outcomes not through action, but through its very concealment. There is a quiet tragedy in Lyanna's choice. She does not get to see Jon grow, does not get to watch him become the man he is destined to be. Her love is expressed only through absence, through the sacrifice of her own legacy. In choosing to hide him, she ensures his survival, but at the cost of ever being known as his mother. Her story becomes incomplete, rewritten by silence. Jon's journey, shaped by this deeper secret, takes on a more introspective tone. His struggles with identity are not just about being a bastard, but about an unspoken void. He is driven not only by honor and duty, but by a subconscious need to understand where he truly belongs. This internal conflict makes him both stronger and more vulnerable, a man constantly searching for something he cannot name. The irony is that the secret meant to protect him also isolates him. It keeps him safe from external threats, but it denies him a sense of belonging that could anchor him. Lyanna's greatest act of love becomes Jon's greatest source of confusion, a paradox that defines his existence. The truth, though hidden, shapes him just as much as it would have if it were known. In the end, Lyanna Stark's greatest secret is not just about lineage. It is about sacrifice, identity, and the cost of survival in a world ruled by power and perception. Jon Snow becomes more than a hidden heir. He becomes a living testament to the idea that some truths are so dangerous they must be buried, even if doing so changes the course of history forever. If Jon Snow had remained Lyanna Stark's greatest secret indefinitely, the consequences would ripple far beyond personal tragedy, altering the fate of entire kingdoms. Secrets in Westeros are never truly buried. They linger, waiting for the right moment to surface. And when they do, they rarely bring peace. Instead, they ignite chaos, reshaping loyalties and rewriting destinies in ways no one could predict. Imagine a world where the truth begins to surface slowly, not through a grand revelation, but through fragments, old letters, whispered confessions, inconsistencies that no longer align. Each piece chips away at the carefully constructed lie, creating tension among those who begin to suspect that Jon Snow is more than he appears. The revelation does not come all at once, but like a rising tide, impossible to stop. Jon himself would be the last to learn the truth, making the discovery all the more devastating. His entire identity, built on the foundation of being an outsider, would be shattered. The realization that his life was defined by a lie, not out of cruelty, but out of necessity, would force him to reevaluate everything he believed about himself, his family, and his place in the world. For the North, the truth would be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, Jon's true heritage could unite factions, offering a powerful symbol of legitimacy and continuity. On the other, it could divide loyalties, as different houses interpret the revelation in ways that serve their own ambitions. What was once a unifying secret becomes a source of conflict. Ned Stark's legacy would also be transformed. Once seen as the embodiment of honor, he would be revealed as a man capable of sustaining a lie for a lifetime. Some would view this as betrayal, while others would see it as the ultimate act of loyalty and love. His story would become more complex, challenging the simplistic notions of honor that defined him. Lyanna's memory, too, would change. No longer just a tragic figure whose fate sparked a war. She would be remembered as the woman who carried a secret that shaped the future of Westeros. Her strength would be reinterpreted, not just as defiance, but as calculated sacrifice. She would become a symbol of the difficult choices required in a world where truth can be as dangerous as any weapon. The political implications would be immense. Claims to the throne, alliances between houses, and even the legitimacy of past rulers could all be questioned. Jon's existence would not just add another player to the game, it would fundamentally alter the rules. Every decision made in ignorance of the truth would be reevaluated in its light. Emotionally, the impact would be just as profound. Relationships built on trust would be tested, as characters grapple with the realization that they were part of a larger deception. Some bonds would strengthen, forged in shared understanding, while others would fracture under the weight of betrayal and resentment. Jon's personal journey would reach a turning point. Armed with the truth, he would have to decide who he wants to be, not who he was told he was. This choice, more than any bloodline, would define his legacy. The secret that once controlled his life would become something he could either embrace or reject. In the broader narrative, Lyanna's secret would serve as a reminder that history is often shaped not just by what is known, but by what is hidden. The most powerful forces are not always armies or dragons, but the quiet decisions made in moments of fear and love. Her choice to keep Jon a secret would echo through time, influencing events long after her death. Ultimately, the idea that Jon Snow was Lyanna Stark's greatest secret transforms the story into something deeper and more tragic. It becomes a tale not just of power and destiny, but of the cost of protecting those we love. And in that silence, in that hidden truth, lies a story as powerful as any war ever fought.